Thanks for the super chat, asshole. I love taking my anger out on haters. Hey guys!
Hey Amber.
They saw my tum-tum! The moon landing didn't happen. Are you actually gonna wear that?
Okay, fine. You're the queen of lolcows. Well done, you.
Did she spray Pam on the food?
That ass, though. I am the worst YouTuber ever.
I want to say it was, she had a hernia. God, don't get me started on a hernia.
Hey folks, what's good? I'm Professor Dietz, and welcome to the second video in the Destiny T-Series Retro Reacts. Now last time around, we watched Destiny's first cup of tea, which, as we know, was fine. It was not a whole lot of tea, that's for sure, but it was still a good history lesson and refresher course, nonetheless. I decided it would be good to refresh our memories on these videos since Destiny is, I don't know, sort of, kind of, maybe coming back to YouTube again. You know, we do know that she was hit with that age restriction by YouTube, which put off her live streaming era a bit, but she did just recently announce it was finally lifted, so if all goes to the new plan, Destiny will be making her formal comeback early next week. Maybe. Sort of. We'll just have to wait and see. The first cup of tea from Destiny covered how she met Amber on that app, where she was saying that if someone was using her photos to catfish people, allegedly, whatever. But it covered that all the way up to the end of 2015. So this next video from her kicks off in January of 2016. I know Destiny does have a tendency to take very long pauses in the middle of her sentences sometimes. So yeah, there's no way we're gonna get through these quickly. But hey, we've really got nothing but time, so we'll just let Destiny go at her own pace. There will, of course, be a Corgi Cam at the end of the video as a palate cleanser. Be it Destiny or Amber or whoever, it's always still good to soothe the soul. We don't need to chat too much about this. Let's just let Destiny take it away.
Hey guys, so I just wanted to start out with a couple things real quick. Like maybe this might end up being a two-part video because I don't want these videos to be like super long.
These are super long, and that's to be expected. You're trying to cover an entire year. Yeah, your videos are so long, I think I'm going to need to break them up even further, but I don't know into how many parts, so we're just going to have to see on that. But yeah, everybody strap in. This is not going to be quick.
And a lot of stuff happened in 2016. I didn't realize that it was that busy of a year, but a lot of stuff happened in 2016. So, there's a couple things that I was going to
People say I'm slow? Please. This is the slowest pace ever to make a video at. All right.
clear up from the last video, or I guess just one thing, yeah. When I said Amberlynn knew that I was secretly talking to my ex, she did not know that till me and Dana broke up. And that's because I had told Dana about it. And when we broke up, I don't know why, but she told Amberlynn. And I had every intention of telling Amberlynn at some point. It was just like unnecessary drama after we broke up, clearly.
Yeah, I totally get that. You do not need to be super open about every little thing after you break up with somebody. Getting some space is probably a better option than telling every single truth.
And it was the day before I went to come here. I was literally at the pharmacy getting the prescriptions I was getting, and she called me when I got in my car, and she just said it. She was like, "You were talking to such and such the whole time that we were together." I was like, "No, it wasn't the whole time we were together." And I said, "Obviously Dana told you that because she's the only person that knew." So
now, why would Dana go and tell Amber anything? Seriously, I thought Dana didn't really like Amberlynn. Wasn't Dana just, staying as nice as she could just to, keep out of unnecessary drama? But in reality, she really didn't want to be hanging out with Amber. So if that was true, then what is happening? What is this? Oh my God, this behavior.
Clearly, that was that. And she denied it. She tried to say that Dana didn't tell her. I was like, well, I've only ever told Dana. And she just kind of tried to skip over it, trying to figure out what I was doing. And I just kind of tried to end the conversation. So
just trying to skip over it is so Amber coded. She just starts talking about other things and avoids topics altogether. She does it all the time, even in her Q&As. She'll not never, but she won't answer questions directly and instead just say something else to kind of distract.
She did not know that whole time. So yeah, I'll go ahead and we will get started with 2016.
I hate it so much. It is so disgusting. I can't.
Starting in January of 2016, we got Twinkie. That was like right off the bat, one thing that we did. Twinkie was my dog's puppy, and my godmom.
I don't think I remember that part. I thought they just got Twinkie from a friend. I didn't realize that it was originally Destiny's dog's puppy. That's kind of wild. I feel like maybe I just missed it the first time around I saw this, or I just forgot. What an interesting piece of information. I really didn't realize that. Let me know if you knew that down in the comments. I'm curious.
Took her because she wanted a puppy. And then I think she was trying to either have another baby or was pregnant with my god sister. Maybe not, because we watched my god sister a lot that summer. So I think she was trying to have another baby.
Was Twinkie a rescue? Dead. No, Twinkie was not a rescue. Twinkie was Destiny's mom's best friend's dog. And she actually had a lot of dogs, and she was trying to get pregnant. And he wanted to get rid of some of the animals. And Destiny and I were like, we'll take one of your dogs. And so we took Twinkie.
And she had so many animals that she had just taken in and was trying to downsize on her animals. So she was trying to find good homes, and she knew that we would take care of Twinkie. So,
Did she know that? Because I'm pretty sure Twinkie has never really been well taken care of. Ugh, God, poor Twinkie. And with all the surgery going on right now and Amber just going to bingo the same day that Twinkie had her surgery, I can't. It makes me so mad, all of the animal stuff.
Let's see. That also started our roommate drama, with our roommate moving out and moving in with her boyfriend.
Fairy Tale Land completely stopped. Our roommate, she admitted that she's gonna be moving out because she wants to live with her boyfriend, and I was like, okay, that's cool. Like, it upset me because we signed a 10-month lease, all of us.
And her saying until we found another roommate, basically, that she would pay her part to try to be fair, but she ended up getting really behind on it, so we just figured it out for ourselves. I wish I could complain about how much that rent was now. That was 6 years ago or something like that, so.
Ugh, seriously, right? Man, everything is so expensive now. Pardon me while I adult for a second, but every time I go to the grocery store, every time I get a bill, everything is just more expensive than it was seemingly last week. It's tough out here.
Almost, it was longer than that. It was like 7 years ago. But our rent included water, and that was it. And that was right at about $1,000. So, I mean, and we were at the assisted living facility, and I was making like $8.50 or $8.75, and she was making $8.25. So,
Wow. Less than $9 an hour? Oh. And look, I know that's even higher than minimum wage. Don't get me started on all of the cost of living and, getting paid a fair wage in this country. We can just not go there today, but how did they afford not just their rent, but their roommates when she dipped out? Maybe they didn't. I don't think they actually did. Didn't they almost get evicted because they couldn't pay?
I'm going to be honest and upfront right now. Me and Destiny do not make enough money to live in this apartment, just her and I. We don't. We cannot pay all these bills. It's physically not possible.
I guess we're going to find out.
it was hard to live off of that, but we did it. It was all good. Or actually I made 9. That's what it was. I remember I think that year going into 2016, I got up to 9. We did get close to an eviction, trying to wait on our roommate to get her crap together, basically.
Okay, so yeah, there it is. It came up a lot quicker than I realized it would. So they couldn't really cover their roommate's rent, and man, how did they go out to eat all the time? Seriously, making that amount of money, and they were going to Target and Walmart and eating out. They had their own table at Denny's, basically, right? So I don't know how they did that.
She'd be like, well, I want to do this kind of diet. And we'd go to the grocery store and spend all this money on groceries and then go out to eat. Like, we didn't make very good money. I don't know how we really survived at that apartment. I was like, you need to pick groceries or going out to eat. Like, it doesn't matter which one, but we can't do both. Not with the amount of money we were making. I was like, it's just not going to work out that way. And
right.
Then it would just be like, well, I really need to go on a diet. And I'm like, I'm not against you going on a diet. Do what you need to do, but you can't decide to go on this diet and then us leave Walmart and go to like Denny's. We were regulars at Denny's for so long.
Really?
We ate there like every night for so long. It was ridiculous.
Maybe Amber was still getting some money from Crystal's parents, do you think? Like, she was getting more than just her phone? I don't know.
And then we just ended up figuring it out and doing it. Amberlynn did manage our money very well. I really don't understand how we were able to do everything that we would do, like going out to eat so much, going to Walmart so much.
Why is Destiny saying everything after I say it? Are we mind melding? I don't want to mind meld with Destiny.
And still being able to pay all of our bills without worrying about anything. But then I also think about, I didn't have a car payment. I don't have a car payment now, but I didn't have a car payment. I only had like insurance, and we had our phone bill, and then rent and water and lights. So it was a lot, but not as much as I think I have now.
Yeah, the more I think about it, Amber had to have been getting like an allowance from Crystal's parents, right? Did she ever say that she did or not? I feel like she probably would have denied it if she had. But I could see Crystal's parents doing that because they just gave her money for years. So, man, if they're still paying her phone, I could totally see Amber asking for an allowance from them, just, convincing them it would just be for a short amount of time while she gets on her feet, gets a job, etc. How could they eat out so much on that wage?
Then I know that she talked about me gaining weight at one point. First of all, when I was a freshman and sophomore in high school, I was like 100 pounds soaking wet. I was scrawny. It's hard to believe, for me at least. But I was a scrawny little thing. I had gained a little bit of like baby fat in the 8th grade, and then when I went into high school, we had this class where it was like the majority of it was running. Like you had to build yourself up to run for 20 minutes straight. And I dropped a bunch of weight. So into my freshman year, I was a little chubby. And then by the time I finished that class, I was like right at like between 98 and 100 pounds. And I was like, wow.
I mean, first of all, that is tiny. I really can't picture Destiny being that small, but just mainly because I can't picture anyone being that small for the most part. But I wanted to say, I also took a running class in high school, which if you knew me now, you would say, what? I'm not a runner. A lot of that has to do with how many injuries I've had over the years to my legs. But yeah, I just am not a runner. But I really liked that class because the gym instructor was really good with the people who were slower, like myself, and built up my self-esteem quite a bit, which I can really appreciate now looking back on it. And I appreciated it then too, because she got me to do something I didn't really think I was going to be able to do. So anyway, random side story. Let's continue.
So my junior year, which I'd always had an issue with my period, with the cramping and everything like that. My cramps were so bad that I would black out. I would throw up. I ended up getting a school excuse to miss 2 days out of the month, just so I could have those days for my period. Or most of the time I would just end up, if I got it at school, just end up going home, trying to deal with it. It usually only lasted a day for that hurting like that, and then I'd be fine. But
why are we talking about this? I mean, fine, okay, talk about whatever you want to talk about, Destiny. But this feels so side quest. I don't know.
Like I said, I would black out, I would puke, and I would know that I was getting it at school because I would start to either get nauseous or I would start to get really like kind of dizzy, lightheaded type thing. And all I had to do was text my dad and he'd have someone come get me because it was bad. So
I gotta say, I'm impressed with Destiny's dad on that front. I feel like a lot of people are not believed, when they say that they're in a great amount of pain that's invisible like this, especially when it comes to menstrual cycles. I just feel like a lot of people think that people just complain a lot and more than necessary, and that is not true. If anyone has experienced pain like this, you know what I'm talking about. I have also been nauseous and throwing up from this pain. So yeah, I kind of want to give a shout out to Destiny's dad, which I don't think I've ever done before and probably will never do again. But in this one moment, I'll give it to him because not just believing Destiny, but also taking proactive steps to help. That's a big deal.
I think what got me to go get put on birth control, because I didn't think birth control would help, so I never thought, hey, I should try to go do that. I was hurting really bad one day, and I had taken some stuff, and I couldn't take no more, basically, and it was still hurting, so I liked to get in the shower and, sit and just let the water hit me, and it kind of helped a little bit. Well, I blacked out in there, and I don't know how long I was in there. I don't remember it, but I remember, coming to, and my grandma was trying to come through the door, because I guess I had been in there for so long, and I mean, the water was hot. I know that when I started that shower. And when I woke up, I don't know how it didn't wake me up before, but it was ice cold. So I don't know really how long I was in there. But it freaked her out enough to where we made myself an appointment. And I got...
Oh, right. I forgot for a second why we were even talking about this. It was the topic of weight gain, which also, do we need to be talking about this? And of all people, Amber, to bring up Destiny's weight gain. Ugh, gross.
Put on birth control, and that birth control made me put on weight like crazy. I went from, I know I was a 00 at one point, or a 0. I was in between those, and I went up to I think a 6 or an 8, in a few months. And I just put it on so fast, and that's when I quit. And then I've slowly just gained weight over the years more. I'm a really picky eater. I don't eat good things, but I'm not that concerned about all that right now.
That is fine, Destiny, and none of us need to be concerned about your weight either, so can we just move on?
So we'll move on from that subject. I'm not a feeder. I don't know. I think she talked about that at one point, saying something about people were saying I was. I'm not. I get no satisfaction out of seeing someone eat.
Well, that's a conversation that has aged in a rather interesting direction. Am I right? Look at us now. Damn. I forgot that people were asking that about Destiny. I gotta be careful with the hammer coming down right now in YouTube. I can't really talk about this. And I might even have had to take out some of Destiny's words here and there. So just know I hate that I have to, but you know, we got stuff.
Amberlynn did have a very bad attitude, just in general.
I have clipped that and used it in a different video in the past. What a perfect soundbite. It's perfect. No changes.
Just with anything, like if she wasn't kind of getting her way, if it just wasn't going the way she wanted to do it. Like, this was as long as I've known her, not just when we were together and even after. So Twinkie was overweight when we got her. She my godmom had a bunch of dogs and they just all ate out of the same bowl, I'm pretty sure. Like, she just
None of these people care for their dogs well, you know? Where are these people learning how to take care of animals?
just left food out all the time. So Twinkie, we put her on a diet and she got to a healthy weight. I let Amberlynn keep Twinkie, obviously, because she just was drawn to Amberlynn more. I didn't want to take her from her.
Man, the amount of opportunities for someone to have taken Twinkie and given her a better life. I mean, I don't know if Destiny really would have, honestly. Let's be real. But Beck would have, for sure. That poor dog.
She also kept Wasabi and Rarity.
Let's not talk about Rarity.
Rarity, we had just got her around the time we broke up. And then Wasabi, you know, I don't know, like that. She always wanted a cat named Wasabi. Like, I just let her keep the animals because they were hers. Except for Jax. I did, once me and Dana actually, like, moved in together, I did take Jax with me, and he was there for a little while. He ended up being an outside cat there because he had never been outside like that in his life until, like, right before we got him, obviously, because my mom found him. And I kept him inside, and he got out that night. It scared me because I was like, he's never been outside. He doesn't know what to do. Well, he was gone for like an hour, and then he just scratched at the door and wanted in, and he just kind of became an indoor-outdoor cat and was doing really good for a little while. And then I don't know how it happened, but Becky's mom ended up with him at some point. And then she wanted me to have him back because I think he kept going to the bathroom on her welcome mat or something. I don't know. I think she wanted him for, like...
We are on another random tangent, Destiny. Look, I mean, Jax is another one of the cats that I wanted to do kind of a special episode on, like I have for Scarlet and for Wasabi, well, the Gracie to Wasabi timeline. I kind of wanted to do a more in-depth look at Jax, but to be honest, with the state of Girl World as it is right now, I'm not sure that is very high on my list of to-do. It would be a lot harder these days to put that together. So that's probably on the back burner for now. But, well, I guess we get to hear about Jax right now instead.
Like a barn cat or something. I don't remember what it was. But I got him back, and then when we moved to Florida, when me and Dana moved here, we had no one to keep our animals, obviously, and we couldn't bring them with us. It was really sad. But my mom took Jackson, and he was an indoor-outdoor cat there. And my mom just lives in the middle of the woods, basically, and he went outside one day, and then he just never came back. So we really don't know what happened to him. He could be at somebody's house. He could have got ran over. I really don't know. I was really sad about it, obviously, when my mom told me, but there wasn't a lot we could do about that.
Tale as old as time when it comes to Amber and Amber's partners, the cat that just disappears and never comes back. All right, real question, because I have never had a cat. I don't know cats well. Is it normal for this to happen? Because I don't hear stories like this on a regular basis, except in Girl World. So I just can't understand how this just happens over and over again to all of these people. Ugh. Okay, I gotta calm down. I'm not gonna get angry. Let's just get through this.
Let's see. Amberlynn started Weight Watchers again in January. We started hanging out with, that's when we really started hanging out with Libby.
Oh man, Libby, here we go. This is another conversation that's gonna get me angry. I feel some type of way about Amber and Destiny hanging out with her to begin with. I'm sure you all know exactly what I'm talking about.
I can't imagine being Libby.
This is not a deep dive on Libby and their relationship, so I'm not going to go on and on about that, but just know that I'm probably going to get angry as we talk more about Libby here.
So I was trying to just delete the videos with Libby because I was like, this is fucking weird.
Yeah. Part of me, I mean all of me, I think, hopes that Libby is never ever pulled back into this and she has moved on from Amber entirely, doesn't even think about her, thinks about none of this. But you never know with all these side characters and whether or not they're gonna all of a sudden pop back in. I think these days probably not, since Amber's not on YouTube anymore. Well, for the time being at least. Although, hey, maybe that's the exact time people would show up. I don't know. I just hope Libby stays far, far away from all of this mess.
She was 15 at the time, and that was our roommates that screwed us over. That was her little sister. Now, I've known them pretty much my whole life. Like, me and my roommate met each other in the 2nd grade, but we didn't become like BFFs or whatever till middle school. So me being in like 6th grade, Libby had to be like 1st, 2nd grade, something like that. And I've known them like my whole life. And I practically lived with them in high school. Let's see.
And that means Libby's family probably trusted Destiny with Libby, right? I don't know. I honestly don't know how Libby's parents and her sister and everybody else who knew her felt about her hanging out with Destiny and Amber. How much they really knew about what they were doing, meeting random strangers and hanging out with them on the beach. The whole situation is just so gross.
I was still having issues with the acid reflux.
Destiny just said reflux, by the way, not reflex. So Destiny knew all along, hopefully, that it was not reflex, but
I think it's acid reflux. Really? Acid reflux? It's like, I could come in here and sprain my ankle and they'll blame it on acid reflux. Ugh.
I had gone to the hospital again, and they tried to say that it was me eating a lot, like eating out a lot. And so I tried not to, but we did a lot, so I couldn't really do too much about it. I just tried to take Tums as much as I could. They gave me this nasty medicine to drink, and it literally numbs you all the way down. I've had to drink that stuff a couple times. That's awful. It's literally like liquid toothpaste. Awful liquid toothpaste. It's gross. I guess she talks about me losing the pigment in my skin at one point.
Yet another thing Amber was talking about that wasn't her place to talk about. Talking about Destiny's weight, talking about skin pigmentation, whatever. Why? Why was, rhetorical question. We all know why, but why did she bring these things up about her partners? Even Destiny doesn't seem thrilled about it here. She's like, apparently Amber talked about my skin pigmentation.
I'm going to show it to you right now, but it goes from my belly button to the middle of my back, just on this side of me, but it just loops around, and it's just a white pigmented part, you know, it's like whiter than my skin, and it doesn't tan or anything. I was put in a hot tub when I was 6 months old, and I don't know, it just kind of happened. My mom took me to the doctor, and I mean, it was 1995, 96, and he said to put Selsun Blue on it, and maybe it would bring it back, but I don't know if she actually tried that. But that's all I know is I was put in a hot tub, and after I got out of the hot tub, it was just, a mark was there, so I wasn't born with it.
This is slow. This is real bleak as far as tea is concerned, Destiny. I saw on YouTube that, you know, her age restriction or whatever has been lifted from YouTube. So she's actually going to start doing lives again, and maybe already has by the time this video's out. I don't know. But I just hope that whatever she has to say these days, it is better than this, because this is just random story time with Destiny that I don't think anybody was interested in knowing, not as it relates to it being tea, right?
Oh, love. No, they're not.
These videos are called Spilling the Tea, where we're expecting to hear about, you know, her relationship with Amber and what really happened behind the scenes. And instead we're just getting story times about, you know, Destiny's family and her growing up and whatever. Which is fine if that's the content she wants to make. Go for it, Destiny, but don't call it tea. This is false advertising.
Oh, that was way harsh, Ty.
And we went to Walmart incredibly too much. I really don't understand why we went to Walmart so much. It's ridiculous. And then about me riding the carts in Walmart, I rode them when I was with her because she was embarrassed riding them by herself. So she would make me ride one too to make her feel better.
Don't judge. I'm on one of these little scooter things because everyone and their mom uses one here, and plus my freaking feet hurt. Oh, because I had work today and I was on my feet the whole day. But look at Destiny.
Then we get to February of 2016. She goes through a vegan phase. It didn't.
The air quotes from Destiny, that was the first time I'm actually laughing, I think.
You can do it. You can be a vegan. I appreciate all that. No, I can't do it. I really would fail completely for a few different reasons. I'm the type of person who will try something over and over again, completely fail, and it's mainly because I try it because I'm not determined to do it. If I tried to be a vegan, it wouldn't be because of me, it'd be because you guys are urging me to do so, and it's just not in my cards. I just don't want to be a vegan, really.
We're all on the same page about that one.
Didn't last very long, and towards the end of it, she was just eating Fritos and Oreos because technically they're vegan.
See, now this is the tea we were looking for. I mean, I actually think we kind of knew that already, but more of this, please, and less stories about your running class in high school, unless you want to tell that under a different title. Thank you.
I kept going back and forth wanting my hair cut.
Fascinating.
I know I did that. A tornado hit our apartment, and then a week later, well, the first one, it just missed our apartment. The second one is the one, like a week later, it really messed up our apartment. Let me see.
Okay, Destiny, now give us more details around that. We already knew about the tornadoes. See, spilling the tea involves telling us information that we didn't already know. Right? Come on, you can do it.
That was when our apartment, that second one, that was when the apartment got damaged. We didn't have power for almost 24 hours. And that had to have been when our apartment started to have the issue with the flooding. It hadn't flooded in there yet, but that had to have been how the leak was going to occur, is what I'm trying to say.
Our room is flooded.
We went on vacation with my mom around this time to a fancy hotel in Destin. And then we also were trying to think of finding another place, like going ahead and just apartment searching, going ahead and get on the ball with it. Then we get into March.
You were on a roll for like 5 seconds, and you have completely lost it again. We know the timeline of events. Anything else you got? Just anything else, please.
That's when we really started hanging out with Libby a lot. And that's also when we met Nick. I know you guys saw Nick in a couple of videos towards...
Nick. Nick is definitely a topic of conversation that will make me very angry. I am curious as to... How do I put this? I don't think Destiny saw Nick as an issue. I'm pretty sure we all know that already. And even now, I'm pretty sure in reflecting on Nick, Destiny doesn't see an issue with what happened there. It's just another moment in time where it's like, okay, Destiny was still very young, very naive. We talked about that a lot in my first video on this series, where she's kind of not always a reliable narrator for a couple reasons. One, because she was so young and not necessarily seeing the world for what it was. And number two, which we may see in this video or we may not, but just as a quick recap, Destiny, because she was so young and naive, she also, I think, tended to just believe what Amber told her. So she then kind of retells those things as fact today, or, you know, she did in 2023, whenever these videos are from. And we can't really just take everything she says as fact unless we know for sure Destiny was there to experience it herself. I don't think she's intentionally lying. I just don't know that she realizes that she was believing Amber too much and was being manipulated by Amber as much as she was. So, okay, enough of the recap. Let's see what she has to say about Nick.
It's like the end. We met him at a Chinese restaurant. He literally just came up to us, said, I have crippling anxiety. I try to beat it every day. Can I sit with you guys and just talk? And we ended up being at the Chinese restaurant for like a few hours, just talking. And his parents were with him, and they left like 30 minutes after he came and sat with us. And I asked him where he lived, and I knew exactly where it was at. So I was like, I'll take you home. It's no big deal. Like, I wasn't worried about it. He seemed all right. But we ended up going to the beach.
So somehow we ended up at the beach at night.
I guess Libby had her ukulele with her. Like, maybe we picked her up from her house and then we went to Chinese food because she lived where that Chinese food place was. So I guess that's how she had it. And then we ended up just sitting on the beach and listening to him sing and play the ukulele, and Libby trying to as well. This is also when we were really trying to look for another place.
Does anyone know if Destiny has spoken about Nick since this time? I'm curious if, you know, in between now and, you know, when were these videos made? Was it 2023? It was about 2 years ago-ish. I wonder how much she has kind of grown and figured out since then. Because I know, you know, having conversations with Beck and maybe also having heard Casey's side of the story a little bit more could have influenced Destiny a bit to make her stop and think and reflect and come to realize, you know, some more of the reality of what happened versus just how she remembered it, you know, a couple years ago. I don't know. I would be curious. I don't know. We might just hear a little bit more as Destiny comes back to YouTube again, presently. If we're doing a Q&A, did anybody ask about this? I guess we're going to find out.
That's also when we started eating at that Chinese restaurant we met Nick at way too much. I swear we were going like every other day. And this is also when we decided to move to Kentucky with my mom. Now, I know there was a couple of things with that, with why we moved to Kentucky. Essentially, it boiled down to I just wanted to be there. My dad is the one that raised me. I went to my mom's, like, I only saw her 2.5 months out of the year. I saw her during the summer, and then they took turns with Christmas, so sometimes I'd only see her 2 months out of the year. if I didn't see her for Christmas. If I saw her for Christmas, then I'd get 2 weeks with her then. So, and that was my choice. There was just a lot of stuff that happened when I was younger that I'm not going to get into right now that made me not want to live with her. I had made a life living with my dad, so I didn't want to just up and move. But as an adult, I really wanted that time with my mom, and looking back at it now, I'm glad I did so.
I mean, that's totally fine. Destiny does not need to get into that at all. In fact, I don't think Destiny should get into all that. But what I am thinking about right now is, isn't this topic something that Amber discussed in her, all the things I've lied about video? You know the one.
I feel like I need to kind of admit to some things that I have lied about. This is really hard. I'm not a liar.
That video.
Because she doesn't understand nutrition like I do.
Yeah, that one. Didn't she actually talk about the reason why they moved? I can't remember what she said now. Man, do I even have... I might have a recording of that entire video. I'm not sure. I'm gonna go look for it when I'm editing and see what I find. If I actually find what I'm talking about right now, I'll put it in here. Okay, so as it turns out, I do have a clip of this, but it's actually from a Michael B. Petty video. And it's interesting what she says in this confessing to the lies I've told video versus what Destiny is saying here. Let's have a listen, and then we can discuss.
The reason why we moved to Kentucky, I said it's because Destiny wanted to be there for her mom. I said we wanted to take care of her. I think I might have said that in a vlog. I don't know why, but it's not the truth. We were just tired of Florida, honestly. I mean, mainly Destiny was... How do I word this without, like, saying too much, but, you get my drift.
I know why you said that, Amberlynn. Because you're a fucking liar. And all you ever do is lie.
You're such a fucking liar, Camille.
Okay, so aside from this just being a ridiculous thing to lie about because it truly just doesn't matter why they moved, any of these reasons would be fine. But aside from that, Amber just lied and then lied again in her confession, which we always knew that she was lying in her confessions anyway, so that's not news. But again, it's just such a ridiculous thing to lie about in the first place. So Amber lied in the beginning saying it was because they wanted to take care of Destiny's mom, and then confesses to that being a lie, saying actually it was just because we were done with Florida. But then Destiny is sitting here saying, no, it was really, my choice because as an adult and as someone who's been reflecting on my relationship with my mother in my entire lifetime, I wanted to start spending some more time with her. Why didn't Amber just say that in her confession? I don't get it. None of this is an issue. Any of those 3 reasons, totally fine reason. Why does Amber lie about these stupid things? I get that she is just a lying liar who lies. Yes, this is all rhetorical. But, I don't know, it blows my mind at some of the things that she chooses to lie about because it's just so unnecessary. What was she gaining from this? Nothing. I guess the original lie was she was trying to gain sympathy, and saying that she's such a good person because she uprooted her entire life to go take care of Destiny's mom. Sure, okay, I guess I can see her lying for that because she wants to be the center of attention, make it about her being such an amazing, good person. She's so thoughtful.
I said it's because Destiny wanted to be there for her mom. I said we wanted to take care of her. I think I might have said that in a vlog. I don't know why.
But then lying again when she's confessing?
We were just tired of Florida.
So unnecessary, so dumb, so ridiculous. Just over and over again, the same story. Let's let Destiny continue.
We showed Nick singing a lot. And then we started packing as well. And that's also when the Lego collection started. Collection. It was literally just 2 of the multi-brick boxes. It was, like the big boxes. It wasn't like we were getting sets. And we just kind of had them all on the kitchen table a lot and just played with them.
It has been almost a decade we've had with her and her Legos. How much money has Amberlynn spent on building blocks? I think what we're going to do is not do this entire video because we will be here for 3 hours. Maybe we can break it into 2 parts. Let's see. We're currently just over 19 minutes in. I think let's get, halfway-ish. We can do 25, 26 minutes, wherever feels like a good moment to take a break. And then I'll do a follow-up video where we cover the rest of this video. And then we have another video from Destiny in the series. So we have quite a bit of work ahead, but we can take it just one little bit at a time as we have been, no problem. I want to make sure we get all of our studying in as Destiny kind of makes another return to YouTube. All right, let's keep going.
My mom did have some health issues going on. I want to say she had a hernia. God, don't get me started on a hernia. But yeah, I think she had a hernia and she was getting it fixed. So that's what that is. It was one of her health issues. I think she had a couple other things going on. I know she was trying to get pregnant at one point, and unfortunately she kept getting pregnant in her tubes, and that was going on. So she had some stuff going on. So she did have some issues. And also in April, I don't know if I already said we were in April, that was when we announced that we were going to move to Kentucky and where we would be staying. And that's also when we started hanging out with Libby a lot more. That's also around the time that my dog, Kona, who's in a couple of videos, that's when he passed. Libby's birthday was in this month, and she got her license and she got a car. Also at this point, Amberlynn only had 2,000 subscribers. So that tells you where she was at this.
2,000 subscribers. Now let's do a little math on that, because it's very interesting the way her audience, kind of would grow in spurts and when that would happen. At that time, I think it was even harder to get monetized on YouTube, and you needed more subscribers, more hours watched, that kind of thing, in order to qualify for the partner program. So I don't even think she qualified yet. She must not have been monetized at all for like the first half of the Destiny era? Huh. I realized she wasn't monetized going into it. I guess I just thought it happened quicker. Again, with the timelines being mushy in the Amberverse. It's so interesting to think about and kind of get right in your head so you actually understand the real timeline of Amber's life. Oh, man.
This point of the year, I think I wrote down a couple of more of these, like as she's announcing how many followers she has. This is also around the time our room, it flooded the first time. Now we did call maintenance, and it took them a couple days to come out, and they shop vac and left that humidifier there. It did make a loud noise at one point, and we did tell them about it, and they said it would do that. But we would unplug it when we were sleeping because it was so loud. But pretty much every time it rained, they left the humidifier there. Every time it rained, they would just come and shop vac it. They wouldn't try to figure out where the leak was coming from. They wouldn't try to fix it, nothing. They just shop vac. And eventually mold grew all in that room.
What a nightmare. What a nightmare. I don't wish that on anybody. I really don't. Not just living in moisture and it ruining literally everything, probably just with mildew. Oh, just think about your own health and what you're breathing in, living in that type of situation.
And we had to move everything out of that room and into the living room so it didn't get ruined. This is also around the time our boss got a letter from a subscriber about about Amberlynn vlogging at work.
Man, that's some of that early touching of the poo, which I hate saying that saying. So gross. Like, why does it need to be that? I do find it pretty wild that nothing ever came of that, and that somehow the people who were managing Amber's like, really? Did they really not care? I guess, what makes it more believable is them not watching Amber And so them not understanding really the situation of what she was showing and who she was as a person. And then I can believe a little bit more that, they just didn't care. Plus it was, it was a while ago. It wasn't quite as prevalent to get fired from work because of something you did online at that point in time. Still pretty weird to me though, for what she was doing and what she was putting in her videos and where she worked. I would think for the safety of the patients there and the people who lived there and their privacy and just lawful consent of everything, that they would have made a bigger deal of this, but nope.
She really did laugh. She thought it was hilarious. She didn't know that we had been doing YouTube or that Amberlynn had been doing it. And it cracked her up. She just said sometimes people have nothing better to do with their life and probably just wanted to see the reaction out of it. So this is also...
Okay, so what was in Destiny's story? Who was the manager talking about when she said some people just don't have anything better to do with their lives? Was she referring to Amber, who was recording at work and posting to YouTube, or was she referring to the people who contacted them about it? Because that wasn't actually clear in what Destiny just said. I have a feeling Destiny was saying that the manager was talking about the reporting people and not Amber. But honestly, I don't know. Could go either way.
Around the time that some subscribers started getting kind of creepy, started trying to figure out like exactly where we lived, stuff like that. My grandpa had a stroke around this time of the year. Visited him. He's fine now. It was a rough patch, but he's all good now. Let's see.
Yes, the infamous scene of Pappy had a heart attack. Oh.
Pappy had a heart attack today. Life is so short.
I don't know if that was the same moment or not, because Destiny just said stroke, not heart attack, but Amber could have also been incorrect. Or did these both happen to this man? Did he have a stroke and a heart attack?
We talked about Libby's age and the relationship we had with her. I know some people try to say that Amberlynn had a thing for Libby. She did not see Libby like that. They were just very close.
Even if Amber didn't see Libby in that way, even if Amber was just, a friend to Libby, it was still an inappropriate relationship. Libby was 15, and she was being put in inappropriate situations with Nick and even with Amber, right? Amber filming her in inappropriate ways, and mid-changing and bathing suits and etc., etc. Things I don't need to get into right now. But those things still happened. However, Amber saw Libby.
Amberlynn did get some kind of infection in her eye because she shared makeup with Libby. I guess that was important. It's in here.
You don't have to let your notes always dictate what you say out loud. Yeah? No? Oh, okay.
Still trying to pack up the apartment. Subscribers were getting super creepy. Me talking about traveling to Kentucky for the first time on my own. I had never driven even on the interstate when we were going to do that. And I was talking about how I was nervous.
Yeah, and we know that also from the fact that it wasn't Destiny who went and picked up Amber at Crystal's house when they first met for the first time and moved in together. Mammy and Pappy were in the front seat.
This is around the time we got our 3DS and 2DS. I don't really remember. It was kind of like a spur of the moment thing. We got those. She started talking about her mukbangs. I don't know if I'm saying that word right. I don't know. It's said so many different ways. So,
Destiny. If she can take one thing away from this whole T-series and bring that into the present tense with whatever video she starts making, take this. We are very well aware of the timeline of events. What we want to hear about is what happened within the stories, within the things we already know about. What don't we know about? Okay? So that whatever we're watching next week and the week after that, if you actually do put these videos out, they're worth our time and will be interesting. Please.
I guess we read you guys the email from the subscriber that was sent to our boss. Let's see. Amberlynn had talked about her younger brother, about when she saved him when he was getting choked. That really did happen. I don't know if there was like a conspiracy on that, but that did happen.
And this is exactly what I'm talking about when I say Destiny is taking those stories and saying they're 100% fact. But Destiny, she wasn't there. Destiny doesn't actually fully know that that story is true, right? She just knows that Amber told her that that story was true. So we just need to keep that in mind at all times when it comes to anything that Destiny wasn't a part of to witness herself. She might have just been believing Amber's manipulations. And what is actually true there, we still don't know. And just because Destiny's saying it's true here, still doesn't make it true, right? And you know what? I think this might be a good place to stop. 24:15, it's a little sooner than I was going to, but I think it is a good moment, so we are going to work with it. Let's wrap this video up. We are going to have a Corgi Cam first to soothe our souls, to shake Amber loose, to get her out of our minds, and then we'll come back, wrap it up real quick before we go. Okay. Alright, so that is it for today's video. We're not going to take a look at the comments this time around because I just think it makes more sense to do so once we've seen the entire video. So just let me get this edited and shipped out to you, and then I'll start working on part 2 of part 1 right after that. If you enjoyed this video, I do hope that you'll consider giving the algorithm a boost in some way. As always, a big thank you to my channel members for supporting me even more every day. And if you want to watch another one of my videos, I'll leave a couple of options on screen, and otherwise, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.
Pappy had a heart attack today.